His burden seemed rolled away. Surely it was at this time that he learned truths like the following: holiness, righteousness, and purity look at me out of the midst of the book, like the fires of Sinai in Israel, or the I am out of the burning bush, causing me to fear and tremble, while I am yet desirous of looking at the radiant glory, because it is tempered with mercy. I take my shoes off my feet and approach on my knees to see this great sight. I cannot live in sin in this presence. Still, it does not slay me. The eternal power is here, and with one hand it conceals me in the shadow of redeeming mercy, and with the other it points out the glory of the great and wondrous truth that God is at once a just God and the justifier of him that believeth in Jesus. Frequently, like Daniel Rowland and Howell Harris before him, he preached out of doors and frequently found his congregation bathed in tears. Remarkable was the change in the religious life of the district, from coldness and deadness to life and power. Of books he had few. His Bible, possibly some of Bunyan's works, a borrowed Welsh English dictionary, and Burkitt on the New Testament, which he would study in bed at night, looking up all the hard words in the dictionary. Here in Llyn, Christmas Evans was strongly influenced by Robert Roberts of Clunog, 1762 to 1802, a popular preacher whose preaching was followed by marked effects. He was also a man of prayer, and it was said that he had even arrested storms by his prayers. Christmas Evans was once asked if he could give any reason for how he came into his unusual way of preaching. He replied, "Yes, I can, partly at least. I had the ideas before, but somehow couldn't get at them. When I was in Llyn, the Methodists, that is, Calvinistic Methodists, had a preacher in the name of Robert Roberts of Llanelwy, who was very popular, and there was a great deal of talk about him. Well, I went on one Sunday afternoon to hear him. He was one of the most insignificant-looking persons I ever saw, a little hunchbacked man. But he neither thought nor said anything like other people. There was something wonderful and uncommon about him. This Robert Roberts gave me the key." It may be asked, what was Christmas Evans's peculiar way of preaching? A short sample may be the best answer. Saul of Tarsus and his 7 ships. Saul of Tarsus was once a thriving merchant and an extensive ship owner. He had 7 vessels of his own, the names of which were Circumcised the 8th day, of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, and Hebrew of the Hebrews, as touching the law, a Pharisee, concerning zeal, persecuting the church, touching the righteousness which is of the law, blameless. The sixth was a man of war, which he set out one day from the port of Jerusalem, well supplied with ammunition from the arsenal of the chief priest, with a view to destroy a small fort at Damascus. He was wonderfully confident and breathed out threatenings and slaughter. But he had not gone far from port before the gospel ship, with Jesus Christ himself as commander on board, hove in sight, and threw such a shell among the merchant's fleet that all the ships were instantly on fire. The commotion was tremendous, and there was such a volume of smoke that Saul couldn't see the sun at noon. While the ships were fast sinking, the gospel commander mercifully gave orders that the perishing merchant should be taken on board. Saul, Saul, what has become of thy ships? They are all on fire. What wilt thou do now? Oh, that I may be found in him, not having mine own righteousness, which is of the law, but that which is through the faith of Christ, the righteousness which is of God by faith. It is little wonder that on account of his allegorical way of preaching, he became known as the Bunyan of Wales.